So in the second episode, we talked about user personas.
सीधा user persona में आ गए.
Welcome back to Building an Indian D2C Brand, a documentary series that takes you through the journey of building a homegrown Indian brand from start to finish. We are SimplePlan Media, a branding and web design consultancy based right here in New Delhi, India. In the previous episodes, we finalized the logo and shot the initial set of content for Amalta's Couture's new sub-brand, Sharmili. If you would like to catch up on how we got here, click the I button on your screen or check out the links in the description below. With the brand identity defined and content in place, the next step is building where the brand lives, the website. Because launching a D2C website isn't just about visuals, it's a layered process where every detail affects how a customer moves, clicks, and converts. The website development process is detailed, layered, and often far more time consuming than it appears. From structuring content and refining layouts to ensuring responsiveness and performance, there are countless decisions being made at every stage. Given how much ground there is to cover, we'll be keeping this segment brief, highlighting only the most essential moments in the build process. But if you would like a deeper look into how the site was planned, designed, and developed, let us know in comments and we'll try and create one complete series on the same. In this episode, we break the website development process into 4 essential stages: the UX, the UI, development, and finally the QA. This is where storytelling meets structure and Sharmili gets her digital home. To begin this process, Yogesh starts a meeting with Gurbani and Kushagra, who is a UX designer at SimplePlan.
Website is one of the most important aspects for any D2C brand. This is where most of the brands are made or they break.
And it becomes even more important for a D2C brand because again, there is no local store. Every purchasing decision that is made by the end consumer, it happens on that storefront. So in a sense, whatever we have done until now, it all boils down to our website being great and it needs to function to convert our customers.
And we achieve this through our process-driven approach, where we first start with the user personas. So if you remember, in the second episode, we talked about user personas. When we are building a website, we go a step further. We move on to something called as persona mapping. For our ideal users, we explore what their pain points are, what information would they be looking for when they land on the website, and what are some of the opportunities that we have to bring them closer to our brand.
So the user journey needs to be convenient, it needs to be simple, it needs to be clean for the end users to navigate the website as we want them to navigate the website. So whatever apprehensions that the user might have on the website and what are pain points they might have from the website, our job essentially during the user experience phase is to make sure that we tackle all those pain points through our user journey, right?
And this is achieved through something we call as information architecture. So you can think of it as a detailed sitemap which has all the pages, how they are connected to each other, and what information we'll be covering on each of these pages. With the user journey locked in, then we move on to the wireframes phase.
The wireframe lays out a structure in how we want the user journey to enact on the actual website. The purpose of the wireframe is very linear. You don't spend a lot of time into the finesse and the design details and the branding elements. You only focus on the users and defining the structure, what is right for them.
And since wireframes are devoid of any colors, images, it's easy for us to be hyper-focused on the experience side of things.
When the user journey is entirely mapped out through the information architecture and then the wireframes, then we go on to something we call as stylescapes. We skipped this step again to save time because this project was very short in time. So we took out elements from the art direction directly and started with something known as the UI, the user interface of the project.
With the wireframes logged and the structure in place, it's time for Sharmili to move from blueprint to beauty. This is where the brand's personality meet pixels through color, layout, and imagery. Leading the charge is Gurbani, making sure that every visual element stays true to Sharmili's bold and unapologetic identity. It's not just about how the website works anymore, it's about how it feels. Welcome to the world of UI, where form meets function and the brand finally starts to look like itself.
With the structure logged in, the UI designer's only focus is how to make the website look and feel good. Since they are hyper focused on this, they are able to use their creativity in order to come up with what kind of images should go where, how do we highlight the CTAs, how does the menu look like. So all of these things they are able to figure out, because if a single person is doing both of these things, it gets a little confusing.
The next important aspect comes the photography directions and how we want to display each photo on every page. The photography directions are generally given after the UI phase.
One of the most important aspects on any website apart from the images is the copy.
Adding the copy in the UI itself is very crucial for the complete brand alignment. The end result of a UI phase essentially is that we have a pictorial view of how the website will actually look. So this pictorial look and feel is very essential for us to get an approval from the client also, if they're also envisioning the brand like we are envisioning the brand. And once an approval is set, only then it is handed over to the development, because changing details after the development is done is too time consuming. So that's a step that we added into the UI phase. Now with the UI, everything gets logged in, the final copy, the final images, and developers can simply focus on doing what they are best at, which is coding.
With the UI designed and the brand's voice defined, it's time to turn static screens into a functional, high-performing website. This is where the code takes over, where every layout, button, and interaction is brought to life. From choosing the right platform to setting up shipping, payments, and backend operations, every decision impacts how the brand performs, scales, and sells. Now it's time for the development team to step in and for the founders to make a few key choices that will shape Sharmili's digital storefront from the ground up.
So with development, the first important question that comes to mind is, what technology do we build this website on? And there are thousands of different technologies and platforms out there in the market. But since it's a D2C brand and we have to build it really quick, there are only a few credible options that we can really choose from. There is the industry leader Shopify, there is WooCommerce, or there is another alternate route that we build everything from scratch. Since we are short on time, building a custom website from scratch on a heavy technology like Node or React is out of the question, because that takes months and months to develop. So the options that we are left with are Squarespace, Shopify, or WooCommerce. And the winner is pretty evident. It has to be Shopify. This is because of the ease of use and the community of apps that is already baked into the Shopify ecosystem. We can plug in, play a lot of different apps for a lot of different features. So it makes the development process a lot more faster. Since we are building a custom designed website, we can't use any pre-existing themes. So we'll have to custom code it on Shopify. The advantages of a platform like Shopify will be immense for our customers, for the ease of management of the orders, as well as a easy to use dashboard system that Shopify gives in. Now, when we talk about Sharmili specifically, when women are ordering the clothes, they expect these clothes to be delivered as soon as possible. So shipping gateway integration becomes a very key aspect when we're choosing a platform. And the three choices that we have are ShipRocket, eCart, and delivery. And the best possible solution is delivery, which I'm not sure will be applicable for. But again, that's something that the client will figure out what the delivery partner will be. The second important aspect would be cash on delivery, which is very prominent in a country like India, along with WhatsApp integration, because people want to receive updates of where the package is, which can be integrated with apps like AI Sensi. With the platform now figured out, the next step is to just get right into development, where our tech team will be taking the UI designs and will be building this website on Shopify directly. This process is very unique for each different project, but in Sharmili's case, We now get into a sprint cycle of 3 to 4 weeks where a team will be allocated to code this website, and after 4 weeks we'll get to see the first version of the website where we'll start adding all the products and the images.
With the development choices made and the website complete, it's finally live, at least on staging. But before Sharmili opens its digital doors to the world, there's one critical phase left: quality assurance. This is where every page, every click, and every product listing is tested, reviewed, and refined. We loop back to the UI and content teams, checking if the design has translated correctly, if the copy sits well, and if every button behaves the way it should. It's not just about fixing bugs, it's about seeing the site through the eyes of end consumer. Because first impressions matter, and this one needs to be flawless.
It's extremely important to have a solid QA process before you launch the brand or your website. Before diving deeper into the QA process, let's look at the kind of errors that we generally face. So one of the errors is manual issues, problems that arise because of mistakes by the development team. In Sharmili, there was a problem that we came across. So there's one of the section called Why You Love It on the product development page, and for some reason the descriptions were not matching for some of the products, and we found out that the field was mapped out incorrectly, and that was because the development team felt that this section contains the same content that the other pages also have. But being proactive about these things help you identify them earlier in the process and solve for it before the website goes live. And another is the system limitations itself. In our case, this is Shopify. So in Shopify, it has a very clunky sign-in process. The return order process is very tedious. So unless you install external apps like GoQuick, Shopflow, even ShipRocket has a feature to streamline the login process. So knowing the limitations of Shopify or the system you are working with helps you prepare for them accordingly, and then you can install these apps and test them if they are performing as intended or not. So how we solve for the QA challenges: the development team performs unit testing at every step. Once all the pages have been developed, the QA team performs a complete integration testing. We have a checklist for our QA team to ensure that all the marketing automations and analytics is in place. So this generally consists of making sure that the website has Google Analytics setup, Microsoft Clarity, Google Tag Manager, Metapixel and Conversion API. So it allows you to view the heat map. It allows you to view the users' recordings. You can add pop-ups on the website. So all these features are important in order to perform conversion optimization tests on the website, which ultimately leads to increase in the conversion rate.
So honestly, we went with a really small budget to these guys for the website. I mean, we asked these guys to work around it, try to do something in our budget, and I think the final deliverable, the final website came out amazing. It's such a clean website, such clean fonts, and I think the Sharmili essence came out so well.
When you go onto the website, you could be very comfortable in seeing as to what the website has to offer. However, it also gave you the vibe of being very comfortable, very desi but chic kind of angle also.
It's just amazing, the kind of brand that we are trying to build. Everything is visible on that website. There's nothing missing. The entire user experience, the user interface, I think both, they've come together so well. Fab guys.
With the website ready and the final pieces in place, Sharmili is no longer an idea in progress. It's a brand ready to meet the world. Bold, playful, unapologetic. If you would like a deeper look into how the site was planned, designed, and built, let us know in the comments and we'll try and create one complete series on the same. Now comes the real test, how it's received out there by real people in the real time. In the next episode, we take Sharmili live. Don't miss it, and if you've made this far, hit subscribe. This is Building an Indian D2C Brand.